All right. Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well, and hopefully you can see and hear me. I just want to make sure my audio is okay. Looks like it's coming through. Hope you guys are doing well. I am doing something that I have not done ever before, and I'm really excited to do it. It's a weekend gold trading competition hosted by Vantage. Now, first and foremost, most people have never heard of something like this. That's because it's pretty new to the market. This gold trading over the weekend opportunity makes trading gold completely different than ever before. Because gold, just trading anything, you have set market hours. You have Monday through Friday, traditionally, or Sunday through Friday. But with Vantage's new XAUUSD247, this is a instrument that they've created that allows you to actually trade on the weekend as well. Just making sure, okay, people can hear me in the chat. Good. Awesome. So today we're going to be doing some live trading. And this is definitely because of the competition rules, which we're going to go through here in just a moment. I'm going to be altering the usual slow and steady, swing trading approach that I'm doing in order to be more competitive in this competition, because slow and steady is probably not what's going to cut it in this competition for my own style here. So let's get in first. I just want to show you guys a little bit of what we're doing here, what the competition is all about. So the competition focuses only on XAUUSD. This is let me specify, XAUUSD247, which is their instrument. As you can see, I've got it pulled up here, that you can actually trade over the weekend. So price action still moving, even though the market is the kind of futures world is closed. Registration for this is open until August 23rd. The minimum deposit for this event is $100. Minimum holding time per trade is 3 minutes, and only registered participant trades count towards the leaderboard. Scoring overall is ranked by the highest profit percentage, which is overall yield in percent form, not raw P&L. So anyone can participate. It's not going to be like winner has the biggest trading account kind of thing. It is all based on percentage-based returns. And then also there is some huge cash prizes up for grabs. First place gets $50,000. Second place, $20,000. Third place, $16,000. And fourth through 10th, you have 10 winners here, $2,000 each. So I got my coffee. I've got my cat sitting near my lap. She's probably going to jump up here any second now. And we're going to jump into this thing because it's going to be fun. So let me just, and like I said, if you want to check out Vantage, there's also a QR code below my screen if you want to join this. I think it's pretty cool that they're launching this. This is a theme in the CFD world that they are pioneering for the most part, is having this 24/7 gold chart. And I think that having that as an option, especially with like headlines recently where you've had these situations where craziness happens in the Middle East, markets start going crazy, and you can't touch them until Sunday. What's kind of interesting is that having a 24/7 chart, like, let's be real, most of the volume is still going to happen during the week. However, there are windows of times where having a 24/7 gold chart would be nice if you are somebody who's like, oh, it is Sunday morning, some massive headline broke, and I still can't touch the market until, the futures open. This is kind of interesting, right? So when we're talking about a CFD like this, it is a product that they have built deliberately to give traders the chance to trade stuff off market hours, which is kind of cool. So what I'm going to be doing, I am dropping down. You can see these are lower liquidity hours. However, one thing that's been really cool about the Vantage team is that they have specially worked hard to actually make spreads reasonable on their weekend chart. That's the other thing. A lot of the, weekend chart stuff that's out there is super spready. Well, they've done a pretty competitive job to make spreads reasonable. So let's see what we've got here. I need to do a little bit of customization of this chart here. This is what I'm doing here. I'm within their portal. So you can see if you have your Vantage platform open, what you can see here is you have all your standard stuff. They have a ton of different markets, like unbelievable numbers of different things. That's the cool thing about, when you're trading with a CFD brokerage, the cool thing is that they have literally everything in one platform. ETFs, bonds, I mean, what the world? Like you can trade anything in one platform. It's pretty cool. So anyways, on my standard watch list, you can see I've added this one here. This is XAUUSD247. Let me also, hold on, I need to restart my drawing tool. It's not working properly. So let me just get that restarted. But yeah, so you can see I've added XAUUSD247. So that is the CFD that allows, you can see here's standard gold, right? Gold closing here at the end of the day. And then now here is XAUUSD247. And you can see that we are still live here, even though markets have closed. So with that said, you have all your standard stuff here. Your terminal here for trades. You can put leverage on, etc. Let's see, what else do we have? Just want to make sure we have everything covered. You can see positions, pending orders, position history, etc. So for the purpose of the competition, because I want to be as competitive as possible, and the overall goal is mass or largest percentage gain is the winner. What is that going to do? Like, let's think logically. If you're either in this competition or just watching and interested in this competition, the reality is that when up for grabs, that kind of money is there. I mean, those are huge prizes. With that kind of prize money on the line, people are going to probably take a bit of a punt. Now, what I mean by that is that even if you have a great couple trades, like if you're in here and you day trade a couple times and you get some good moves throughout the weekend, that may not be enough to win the competition. It's one thing to do decent in it. It's another thing if you actually want to win. But the question is, do I want to shoot for trying to go more aggressive, try to go for that first, second, or third place? Or do you want to go more conservative? I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. So here's what I'm going to do. I generally am really bullish on gold right now. And ask anyone, I have been missing out on pullbacks here for a while. Pullbacks have not really taken place. What I don't want to do here in this competition, given the window is so short in duration, like we just have the weekend to do this, then, and by the way, I will be streaming tomorrow too. And I will also be updating you on any positions that I change over. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. I am going to be dollar cost averaging. That is my approach. But my goal is to do in a way the dollar cost approach that I can actually sort of generate some profits, hopefully, right? We never know exactly what's going to happen, but going to do it in a way that I can rack in some profits, close it out, and try and see if I can be competitive within the leaderboard. So anyways, without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get long gold. So what you can do here is they have the one-click trading. You can put one lots on, however many lots you want. I'm going to start smaller than this. So if I go, let me see. I'm just going to do one lot. Hold on. So let me just do something else really quick. So you have your volume in lots, US dollar. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So you can do volume in dollars. Interesting. Minimum value. So you can buy one. Oh, that's like buying like 1 ounce of gold, quote unquote. And we can see my max open. So the leverage that I have is 100 to 1. So I could theoretically, that's really interesting that they let you do that. The volume size in like effectively like ounces of gold, basically. That's really interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to lots, and I'm just going to do one lot. And we're just going to go here, and I'm going to, let's see, buy. I'm not going to use a target on it or a stop loss. I'm just going to, we're going to buy here. Okay, so there we go. So we have our first trade on. And so what you can see here, oh, that's cool. It's got it over here. So I can, it's, you know, integrated with TradingView here. So I've got the same platform set up, and that's a reasonable spread. I mean, that is not a crazy spread or commission whatsoever, especially given that the futures market is closed and you still have this going on. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, because the competition, like I said earlier, is not specifically incredibly long, or it's not very long, right? What I will be doing is looking for an opportunity to take profits when I can and scale in and out of the position as much as possible. Okay, so one lot being, we're going to probably want more than that for sure. So let me just see what we can do here. Because again, at the end of the day, from a percentage basis, our goal, let's see if we can do anything. So we have our open position here. We have no take profit, no stop loss. Let's see here. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is an aggressive style of dollar cost averaging on the lower time frames. Definitely stepping outside of like what I normally trade, like if I'm swing trading. But for the sake of competition, like you have to think about this. If you're trading in some kind of a competition, if you listen to the legendary competition traders like what's his name? Like Larry Williams, for example. He pointed out that he traded very differently in those sorts of competitions than he would on his own trading accounts. Because at the end of the day, if it's a competition and you're trying to win it, you have to kind of go for the gold, right? You can't sit back and be too relaxed with it. So anyways, I think that where this really shines, this sort of product shines, is that if you like Vantage, you like what they offer. I mean, them having so many different platforms, so many different, I mean, and the spreads are very reasonable here for entering and exiting. What's really cool about this is that if you had the circumstance where I can see this just on a normal week, not a competition necessarily, being really cool, is if you had some kind of big news event, and you know, we know how frequent that has been recently, right, with the Middle East stuff, you could still tap in and trade that dynamic if you had an opinion or if you wanted to get involved to some degree, etc. What is Vantage? What is Vantage Markets? Vantage Markets is a CFD brokerage. They are sponsoring today's show. We are, like I said, we are streaming the competition that they are offering this weekend. So this weekend, let me just pull it up here for anyone who is interested in taking advantage of the competition or wants to jump in on it. So Vantage is doing a gold 24/7 only competition. They have a new product that we are showcasing today as part of the competition. It is a 24/7 gold market. You can trade it on Saturday. You can trade it on Sunday. Granted, these things, as I've been disclaiming, like they move less usually, but to the credit of Vantage's team, they've been able to keep spreads fairly reasonable. Now, right now, gold has not made any significant moves here, but you can see that even over the weekend, like we're making moves in the gold price. So kind of interesting. But and this does carry over, so you can see like during the work week or the trading week, you can see it's still open as well. So it is quite literally the name XAUUSD 24/7. So if you want to check out Vantage, like I said, scan the QR code here below my screen. They are offering all sorts of different platform or products within their platform. Yes, they have the XAUUSD, but you can see they've got crypto. And like I was just looking at this a little bit ago, the number of symbols that they have is insane. Like they have everything in here. Indices. Like that's a lot. That's crazy. They have pretty much every index. Currency pairs, of course, they have all that. Metals. They have share CFDs. Looks like they have a ton of, that's cool. They have a ton of individual equities. Commodities, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So good question. Upcoming gold levels. Let's see what we've got here. To be honest, I always use Vantage. I think it's the easiest way to trade XAU, Forex, crypto, and index. I definitely seems like if you want to have a lot of different symbols in one platform, Vantage is pretty cool for that. As always, you know, if you're thinking about switching to a different brokerage, look into them. Make sure you like what they offer. Make sure that you have the regulations that you need for wherever you are. etc. But yeah, Vantage has quite the platform offering. And this 24/7 gold thing, I'm sure that this is going to be a big hit for them. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what we've got, because I think what someone pointed out in the chat just a second ago, some levels. Let's talk about some upcoming gold levels. So because I'm using a dollar cost averaging approach, I'm using the 5 and 15-minute chart. Like, this is usually my sweet spot is daily and 4-hour charts, right? But that's not going to cut it for a competition where we need to be trading in order to potentially make any gains. So let's talk about some levels. I need to get they've got rectangles in here. Beautiful. And I need to do some styling on this. So you guys can watch my styling efforts here. There we go. You know, I used to have, a long time ago, I used to trade with a white background. I switched over to dark backgrounds maybe, gosh, like 5 years ago or something like that. I don't know. I kind of miss the white background. It's kind of nice. What background do you guys use? Are you more of light or dark backgrounds? I'm curious. Oh my goodness, we have a crazy number of people watching right now. 1,600 viewers. What's up, guys? Thank you for being here. We're trading in XAUUSD 247. It is a 24/7 gold market chart offered by Vantage. Vantage is a regulated brokerage. If you guys are looking to check them out, join the competition, scan the QR code below my camera. Dark for me. Yeah, I typically prefer a dark background. I don't think I'm switching, but I don't mind the light background. Like, I like both. Although, thinking logically about this, if I'm going to be trading for the next, gosh, I don't know, if I'm fortunate, 30 years or something, then I still want to keep my eyes. So maybe dark backgrounds are for the best. Anyways, let me keep going with this. So if I go, can I do extend right? That's what I'm looking for. This is, so if you guys, people ask sometimes, like, Nick, how do you set up your zones to look the way they do? So this is actually what I do. I actually set this opacity to 0. Then I check extend right, and I put the background on, and there we go. And that's how it makes it kind of like, in my view, it's a clean zone. Like, I can see that. And I typically use like support and resistance as a zone, not as a, hardcore level like this, right? Like, I typically don't look at price action like a straight exact line. I'm more so looking at, a zone. So we also have this, and now you can see it extends right, which I like the way that looks. I think it looks nice. So we have a zone there. We also have a zone here. And these are all, like I said, these are all intraday levels. These are short-term levels. And because I'm using a fairly aggressive dollar cost averaging approach, what I'd be looking for is the opportunity to scale in to this position. And actually, for my strategy here, ideally, we would get some discounts, some pullbacks here intraday, giving me the chance to actually build a larger position. So we'll see. I have a backlight monitor to make it easier on the eyes. Makes sense. Hey, can you tell us your opinion on Japan's interest rate hike expectations? Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that, let's see if they have, I'm sure that they do. Let's see if we can just switch over while let's look at dollar yen. That's a good place to start. Dollar yen, obviously you can see this one is closed over the weekend, but just for the sake of conversation, the dollar yen, kind of interesting, right? You've seen this shakeup in the Japanese yen, I think made partially more serious by what's been going on with the U.S. Treasury, Scott Bessent, and all that activity we've been seeing here recently, where they are defending the U.S. bond market. I think I've made this speculation. I think the U.S. bond market being being aggressively defended by the U.S. is in some ways an effort to allow the Japanese to sell some of their U.S. treasuries to buy the yen to support their own currency. It's kind of interesting on that front. I also want to talk a little bit about here from a gold perspective, why, when we're dollar cost averaging, for the sake of competition here, I am trading gold only to the long side right now, because generally speaking, while I usually trade the 4-hour, the daily chart, etc., from a macro perspective, I generally am very bullish on gold. Part of the reason for this is that if we are looking at, for example, economic growth has been soft in the US, institutional activity, actually, this was a little bit neutral. So COT showed some latest commitment of traders data buying that was more, or actually, I'm sorry, showed latest COT activity was a little bit more bearish, while net positioning in the commitment of traders data continues to show institutions are very long gold. That doesn't surprise me. You're getting a really nice rally going on in the price of gold. Let's get back to our 24/7 chart. There we go. And I'm just going to come back in here. I'm going to look at the 15-minute chart. There we go. So coming back to our idea here a little bit. My goodness, we have so many people watching the stream. There's 6,000 people watching right now. What is going on? What do you guys not have lives? What are you doing on a Saturday watching a gold trading stream? This is crazy. In all seriousness, thank you for being here. If you're enjoying the show, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, all that good stuff. So anyways, if we are looking at gold moving higher here, I think that can continue overall. Like, I think from a daily chart perspective, I do, from a swing trading perspective, I would love some retracements. Like, I would love to see, this kind of price action next week. If we were to get a pullback into that area, that sort of thing would be much more attractive, in my personal opinion, for looking for longs. Like, I feel way more comfortable getting long gold from a swing trading perspective down in this area. And generally, I think that the gold chart, the gold rally that we have seen, I think it very much can continue. We also see, again, institutions being so long gold right now is pretty interesting. So anyways, back to the fundamentals for just a second. So inflation has been cooler than expected. The jobs market data has been incredibly bullish for gold, in the sense that non-farm payroll, so the latest jobs report, think about this, guys. It came in and missed by 100,000 jobs. That's a huge miss. So 100,000 jobs lower than expected. It actually went negative. So we saw negative job growth month over month for the non-farm payroll. Unemployment rate's at 4.1%, though the concern part here is that, and a little asterisk, is that participation rate in labor in the United States is actually down as well. So less people, might be some older people who are leaving the jobs market, for example, but that still doesn't necessarily help with this side of things, which is the actual number of jobs being added within the US economy is weaker than expected, right? So you have less being added. Can you tell us a bit about the Vantage? Yes, we are doing it live. Don't worry. I'm doing a little bit of analysis on gold, but yes, we will of course be back on the chart here. I'm doing my logical breakdown of why I am bullish on gold. So give me a moment. But yes, I have a tiny gold experimental position on right now. I'm going to be dollar cost averaging, looking for longs only on gold right now from an intraday basis. And yeah. So anyways, part of the reason that I think gold generally continues higher is because the fundamentals, the macro, really supports it. It has supported it. And I want to show you this. I'm not making this up. You can actually go back and watch in my old videos and live streams that on July 23rd, we flipped into a bullish stance on gold. July 23rd till now has been really good for gold. Now, I have to be honest with you guys. I've not been participating as much as I would like. I have long-term, small positions, long-term open on gold. I have physical, etc. But from a shorter-term trading perspective, like a entry, tight stop, letting it run type of approach, I have not been able to catch a trade. I've talked about this at length, but part of the reason is on the daily chart, right? We have had very little pullbacks. This was the level that I watched break out to the upside. And I pointed out several times, any sort of retracement into that zone would get me long into gold. So we had a big explosive move. And this is, this is the pros and cons of any strategy. I could rant on this for 30 minutes, and I probably will. This concept of like, with hindsight, dang, I should have bought gold and just not waited for the pullback. But most of the time in my style of trading, most of the time, not every time, no certainties, but most of the time, waiting for retracements is the better approach. It gives me a better risk reward basis. Like, for example, on this idea, had we gotten, and I know this is shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? And this breaks my heart to even draw that in, because that would have been the trade, right? Had we seen just a minor retracement there to that level, I would have gotten long. But here's the deal. I didn't. And I can't sit around and be like, oh, that's what I should have done, right? I should have just bought gold because it wasn't going to retrace. We never know if something's going to retrace or not. Gold this week could retrace and pull back sharply for 2 weeks straight, right? Or 3 weeks straight, and still be in an uptrend. So I think it's important that whatever style of trading you choose, right, that you accept the pros and cons of whatever that is. So in this case, the cons of waiting for the retest of a major level like this, the cons of doing that is that sometimes you miss the move, right? Sometimes you miss the trade. Now, in this competition that I'm participating in, so let's go back to our 15-minute chart. No real movement just yet. From my entry point, we're basically break even on the trade. In this particular case, with a competition like this, I'm going to be trading a little differently, because I don't think waiting for, like, I only have 2 days to trade this. I can't wait around for that sort of setup, because I may just end up taking no trades, which would not be a very effective approach to trying to win a competition. I want to participate in the Vantage 24/7 gold trading competition. So here is how. Scan the QR code right below my camera if you would like to participate. Here is the competition rules if you are interested in doing so. So here's how it works. Basically, you have the only things that count towards the competition are trading specifically XAUUSD247. That is the new chart that they are offering. This is a sponsored stream showing off their new feature, right? Their new product that they launched. It's CFD that offers gold trading around the clock every day of the week. Pretty cool. So the registration window is between obviously now until the August 23rd at midnight. So UTC +3. Minimum deposit is $100. Minimum holding time per trade. And by the way, so it's $100. But what I like about the way they set up this competition here is that it is ranked by highest profit percentage, not profit in dollars. If they made it profit in dollars, it would be really unfair for people who have large trading capital to just win. What's cool about this is that it is a P&L based in percentage. So you have to create an account, you deposit $100, only registered participants, participant trades count towards the leaderboard. So you have to register. You can scan this QR code that's on the screen right now if you want more info, or the one that is below my camera. And then also there's $100,000 up for grabs in the competition for their top 10 winners. So they're doing first place person gets 50K, second gets 20K, third gets 16K, and fourth through 10th get $2,000. Stream on a Saturday? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, I'm going to briefly text my wife to ask if she can you bring me coffee? Let's see. That's the advantages of having a loving wife is I made coffee this morning, but I'm out of coffee. And it's Saturday, man. We're trading gold on a Saturday. What's wrong with us? Okay, so anyways, we haven't had any significant moves just yet, but I've marked up some zones. I also like this area here. And we are super intraday on it with this. Like we are, and we have to be, right? From a 2-day trading competition perspective, you have to, in my opinion, we have to take the aggressive approach. So we're getting in here, looking at the lower time frames. We're looking for any sort of retracements here. I have a bullish bias on gold that I have talked about a lot for this very reason. And what I'm going to actually do is, because let me just, you can see like my P&L is moving so little here, but I'm glad we took the experimental sizing here just to see that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and add my little bit more size to this. There we go. Nice. I have the one click being much more convenient there. Okay, so now we have a couple positions. You can still see P&L is not moving a whole lot. I am trading on a 10K account here. My margin level is showing here. Okay, this is nice. So we have all of our stats, floating P&L in percentage, etc. We are looking at a margin level. And for this particular approach that I'm taking, which is, again, I'm going to be pretty aggressive for the sake of maybe we can win the competition type of approach. The only chance at the end of the day, if we're going to get some kind of competition win here, is that if price were to move lower, I could scale in. And then if we got that kind of move at all, that could give us a chance. Vantage is a prop firm, right? No, so Vantage is a brokerage, although they might have a prop firm side of things as well. I'm not too sure. But one thing I have to say here, guys, I mentioned it earlier. When you have no futures market open, you would think that the spreads would be horrible on this. They're not. They're actually really reasonable. Like actually quite good. The gold 24/7 charts spreads are pretty tight. Like this is a 5-minute candle, and that bid ask on a weekend, on a Saturday morning, is still fairly tight. Buying at the top is brave. Yeah, so we have to be brave with a competition like this. Yeah, weekend trading competition is ridiculous, but everything needs to be tried out. Yeah, you know, I bet you what they'll do, they'll probably do some longer term competitions at some point in the future. But this is obviously, this is a great way to get exposure to their new product. Having a 24/7 gold trading competition makes sense to launch it on a weekend, just so people can see that you can trade it again on the weekend, which is pretty cool. I've made this point a couple times, but for people who are maybe just rotating in, one of the coolest aspects of this is that I would love to see, like if you had some craziness happen in the Middle East, right? Something goes down, causes a big stir. In that particular situation, if that took place on a Sunday or a Saturday, being able to pull up the 24/7 chart and trade that live, kind of cool. Vantage is a global broker with over 17 years history. Europe can register. They've been around, man. Vantage has been, Vantage has sponsored our stuff off and on for quite a while. So yeah, they've been around. What is your bias on gold for the coming weeks? Overall, bullish or bearish? Very much bullish. I'm kind of like split camps here. I want to talk about gold from a swing trading perspective, and we've got a little bit of movement here. I actually want this thing, as bizarre as it may sound, I would like this thing to continue to move lower so that I could build a bit of a position. Like if we're going to stand a chance, we need some chances to build a position. Is this chart available on TradingView? You know, I don't actually know. Right now I'm trading within their portal, which is obviously integrated with TradingView, which is really nice. But I don't know if it's actually like on tradingview.com standalone. It might just be through their portal that you can access this. Is this challenge real funds or paper? So it is real. However, in my case, I have a promotional account. So full transparency. I'm a US trader. Unfortunately, they don't accept US traders, but they accept most other countries. So, you know, as part of the promotion, stream is sponsored. We're showcasing the new product that they have, the competition, etc. Registration, all the details you can see on the screen, the prize pool, etc., etc. Seems like many support levels. Yeah. So again, the goal here in terms of a trading competition, my personal approach to a trading competition, like I'm trying to think, I've been in competitions before, but not in quite a while. My experience from being in competitions, to be completely honest, it is not pure only skill. It is skill plus luck. Like, let's be completely fair, right? Granted, some people approach prop firms in a similar way. But when it comes to, and look at this, we're maybe going to get a chance to continue to build our position here. So we've got a bit of a dip here. And I'm going to add a little bit to our size. And I hope it keeps going. I hope it keeps moving lower, because then I can build kind of a position. And then the goal would be, if you get some kind of bounce in gold price, that would be great. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay. So competition wise, right? At the end of the day, it's a combination of luck and skill, because if you're able to catch good trades, that's one thing, but it's sort of like an anti-risk management strategy that has to be employed. If you go for super tight risk management, super low risk trades, the challenge that you run into is that you are going to lose every single time to the person who kind of goes heavy on the position sizing and then just outright, you know, also has good trades. Like, think about this, right? If you have good trades plus risk management, you will lose. If you have bad trades plus it doesn't even matter what your risk management is, you're going to lose, right? If you want to stand a chance to win a trading competition, you need good trades plus, so let's say defensive risk management, aggressive risk management, right? Then you have a chance. That is like how trading competitions work. Like, if you want to win a trading competition, you can't go defensive. If you go defensive, it doesn't matter if you have good trades, because your profits will not be up there with the competition leaders. So you kind of have to hope that and this is where, again, good trades or bad trades are not something that you can always control in terms of what the P&L outcome is. So you could have a situation where, okay, I catch or I take trades that I'm supposed to take. However, the trades don't pan out. They just end up being losers. They just don't work. So it's a combination of skill and luck. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So if this thing continues to pull back, then I'll get a chance to just keep dollar cost averaging. But I have to use a different approach than my standard break and retest 4-hour and daily chart. I mean, that's my bread and butter. That's how I typically trade the markets. But that simply just guarantees that I won't have any chance of winning, right? By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. There's a lot of people in here, man. 5,600 people. What is going on? Real quick, if you guys don't mind, comment where you're watching from. Like, where are you guys tuning in from? We got people all over the world. I'm curious where the gold traders in the room, where are you guys from? Crypto. Yeah, I mean, like, they have so many things on here. We're all degenerates. I mean, gold trading on a Saturday morning, that's like cigarettes at 7 a.m. or something. Not that I do not smoke personally, but I can imagine. It's like yeah, the thing is, again, with a competition like this, you have to trade a little differently than you would standard. Okay, we got people from all over the world here. Singapore, South Africa, Myanmar, Belize, Australia. Very cool. Planet Mars. Nice. 5,600 who have nothing on a Saturday morning. Hey, I'm in Texas. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it's not available for US traders. How am I doing it? Well, they set me up with an account for the promotion. Like, this is, full transparency. It's a sponsored stream. I'm showing off the new product that they offer. I wish personally, like, as a US trader, I really do wish that I could trade on CFD brokerages. It's just something like you'll notice if you're a US trader, a bunch of brokerages can't accept US traders within their compliance. Like, their own regulations don't allow them to accept US traders. Unfortunately, that means a lot of trading products are not available to US traders. The US has like a lot of restrictions on stuff. And some people support that. Some people do not support that. In the 2008 financial crisis, they like seriously ramped up. They seriously ramped up the, regulations around trading for US traders. And it's a double-edged sword, man. Because like on one side of things, you're like, okay, for US traders, that restricts massively what they can do. And for people who are unprofitable, degenerate traders that don't know what they're doing, and like, I understand that there are some good things to limit. But for people who actually trade, like people who know their own risks, who are not dumb, well, I shouldn't say dumb, but people who know the risks and are willing to take the risks, that they're severely limited. Granted, people still find a way now. I mean, now you can trade options on everything. 0 DTE options are available for everything. You can leverage yourself to the max. So I don't really understand why, so many products are still unavailable to US traders, yet options are like, you can blow your account so fast if you wanted to with that stuff. How are you trading gold on a Saturday? I'm so confused. Yeah. So again, we are trading gold on XAUUSD 247. It is a Vantage Markets product, sponsor of today's show right here. They're offering a gold 24/7 chart. And specifically right now, they have a competition going on that is it's a gold only competition. So if you are a gold trader, I know I keep putting this up here, but I'll just put it up for reference. They're doing a competition. The registration is between now and through the end of the weekend. You can sign up. There's massive prizes on the line, $100,000 prizes shared by 10 winners. Of course, do your due diligence. Make sure it's a broker that fits your criteria. Unavailable to US traders, unfortunately. But yes, if you're someone outside of the US, do you speak Spanish? No. I was confused too, but it's Vantage's 24/7 gold CFD. Yes. So it is a gold product. And I think, it is a very unique product because you're trying to price gold outside of standard hours. And so they are offering a chart. But what I have to say about it is I've been impressed so far with just the mere bid-ask spread being fairly reasonable. Like, you have to think there's not a lot of activity going on. Markets are thin during off hours. And yet here it is. You got a reasonable bid-ask spread. Degeneracy at its finest. Absolutely. What's up, Alan? Did I forget it's Saturday? Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was Friday. No, Nick, what are you doing, bro? Yeah, so we're doing a competition. It is a. I'm trying to think of the last time I was in a trading competition. I've done them before, but I feel like it's been like since 2020. I've not been in a competition for trading. So we are adapting big time because this is like we have to. I've gone over this a couple of times, but the strategy here of like swing trading doesn't work for a competition. Like, let's be real. A short-term now, if it was a long-term, and I hope that they do this, I think it would be really cool if they did like a 2-month or 3-month long competition. That would be awesome. Because if you had 3 months to swing trade, then I think that that would be even more skill-based personally. Although still, even then, people are going to like leverage themselves massively. But I'm trying to think, like I told the story earlier, like the Larry Williams of the world, when he did competitions in the past, I think that he did like month-long competitions. And that gives you a little bit of time to swing trade rather than only day trade. Not to say day trading competitions, like for the day traders out there, this is probably awesome. 24/7 in trading is interesting. It is for sure. Because being able to see charts moving, if there's some sort of headline breakout, etc., you know, you can trade it on a Sunday or whatever. So Vantage make an exception for you, Nick, as a US trader. Yeah. So as I've said a couple of times, it's in the disclaimer as well. They've set up a promotional account so that I can show off the product for their competition. So yeah, it's a promotional account. I don't have, unfortunately, I can't trade with Vantage in my own, you know, personal account. So it's for the sake of the competition and showing off the new product that they have. It's a sponsored stream. No trying to hide that or, you know, not address that. But Vantage itself has been a sponsor of mine for quite some time, off and on. But the big thing about Vantage is that they've been in the game for a very long time. They are a pretty well-regulated brokerage. So check them out, explore them, see if you like them for yourself. So with this trade so far, I'm looking for a chance to continue to scale in. If we can get a move lower in gold, that would be great. Then I can continue to build out this. And then what I'm sort of fingers crossed looking for here is a overall continuation of what I think is a very bullish gold market. We'll see if we get it. If we don't get it, then it is what it is. But the only chance for a possible win is to see some kind of continuation for me. Pretty cool to see ballpark what weekend prices are. Yeah, it is very interesting. And hearing a little bit of behind the scenes, like think about this. If you're the broker trying to launch a product on this, it's a complex problem to solve. Like, and not to mention the other big problem is how do you offer a bid ask to clients that is both tradable but also profitable for the brokerage, as well as, you know, reflective of where prices might open up on Sunday. I'm actually curious. I'm going to watch this on Sunday night just to see where, because it's probably going to jump to adapt to new prices. But yeah, it is a complex problem. Like thinking about like if I were trying to build a 24/7 gold chart, it's actually quite challenging to try and price gold with markets closed. So obviously they have a ton of clientele, so they can kind of build a chart with internal data. But really interesting. Like if you have enough still active trading participants, you can build a market. And that obviously, you know, market maker, people like to think, oh my gosh, market maker, they're evil. I mean, market makers are in everything now. If you take a trade on, if you buy a stock, a market maker is involved. If you buy anything, there's market makers providing liquidity so that you can actually take trades and get reasonable bid-ask spread whenever you want. markets are fascinating in that way. It's like been the trend for the last 10 years is markets are more and more accessible, tradable. I think it's a cool trend. Yeah, we have 7,000 people watching. My goodness. My goodness. Nick, I made an account in Vantage. I'm not a US trader. Want to trade together and split the prize 50-50. You've got it, man. It's all you. It's all you. You're whatever you choose to risk, etc. I'm just doing my thing here, but I wish you the very best. Have you looked at the views? Yeah, it's crazy. Nick, blink twice if you're being held at gunpoint by ICT. Okay, I'll message you. Just kidding. I actually think that when it comes to the ICT stuff, I think like people get all wound up about like whether it works or not. I personally don't trade with it, but if someone uses some kind of a price action framework that they like, more power to them, man. Like at the end of the day, I think you can trade with many different styles. I can't find it. QR code right here. If you are interested in checking out the competition, exploring all the rules, etc., checking out Vantage, do due diligence, make sure it's a good brokerage for your style, good fit for your wherever you are in the world. Check them out, etc. But I think at the end of the day, any strategy can work, right? Like any approach can be made better. Thank you. I've got my fresh coffee, guys. Thank you, wife. That's wonderful. Look at that. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where I am is it's just about 9 a.m. So it is it's coffee hour. What happened? Usually we've got a couple hundred, Nick. I think it's interesting. I mean, there must just be a lot of people who are like, what? Gold on the weekend? I think it's again, I think it's a creative product. There's a lot of, I'm not surprised to see this product coming out now, given the way things have gone down. I mean, I think all of us are the weekend headline fatigue is so real. The whole like on Saturday, on Sunday, there's craziness going on in the world. And then things cool off Sunday night right before futures open. So yeah, no way Nick is using his real money. No, I'm not. I've disclaimed it several times for that purpose. Like it's a promotional event. I can't trade with Vantage, unfortunately, as a US trader, but they've provided me with an account to trade the competition. So should plug the Edge Finder. Oh, we will. Don't you even worry about that. So next level, if gold can continue to push lower, I'm going to add another one down in these areas. And if we can push higher, then I'll take profits off. I'm using a really simple dollar cost averaging approach. I'm trying to be aggressive, although I think I'm not being aggressive enough. Why don't you put alerts so you don't miss the trades? Because my eyeballs are glued right now. I'm not going anywhere. Although, let's talk about missing trades, because you guys know me well. I'm the king. I'm the king of missing gold trades recently. Someone, this actually made me laugh. Someone commented on my videos recently, because for context, there's a lot of people who are maybe not usual viewers here. So I've been bullish on gold as far back as July 23rd. The cool thing about being a YouTuber is that if you don't believe me, go back to July 23rd, watch my videos, and you'll hear my perspective on it at that time. I was bullish on gold July 23rd. What has been a challenge for me psychologically, just being real with you, is that I was super right on the gold flip to bullishness. and yet didn't capture any of it in terms of a short-term trade. To help me cope, I'm also leaning on the idea that long-term I have a lot of gold exposure, which is great, but short-term I was looking for more of a, a leverage long idea on gold, tight stop, trailing stops. It would have been a meaningful lift to my performance in the last, 3 months. And yet, despite being bullish and being right on this, 23rd of July, let's go take a look at, just for context of the 23rd of July. That is right here. Okay, so July 23rd, on this day, I officially, with my system that I just showed, how much for the Edge Finder sale? Fallout. You guys are my wingmen today. Thank you for that. So check this out. On July 23rd, I got bullish on gold. On July 23rd, I didn't buy gold because my system, which again, the product that I use is called Edge Finder. It's not a trade signal service. Like, just because it gets a bullish reading does not mean I go out and I just punch the buy button. But it filters a bunch of data for me, and it helps me to build a bias on a chart that I care about, in this case, everything about gold. Well, I got bullish on gold, and I didn't like the price action at the time. In fact, if you guys have been trading gold for a little while, then you will know as well as I did, this is a daily chart. We were chopping. It was chop city. If you're in Atlanta, we have the Atlanta Braves. It was a chop fest. That's we do this when we're at the Braves Stadium. Anyways, it was a chop fest, sideways chart, going nowhere. And I said, okay, I'm bullish gold. What am I going to do about it? Well, I don't want to buy it here because it's choppy. I'm not going to get chopped to pieces in there. And for a while, that was the right call. I avoided getting in or out of gold because the chart was very choppy. Well, then I said, okay, well, if we can get a breakout above like 4,200, I'm a buyer on any retracements. So here it is. Boom, we move higher. And silly Nick doesn't catch any of it because we didn't get the retracement. And so I've been battling with this concept because the voice in your head is like, oh, Nick, you should have chased. You should have just bought the breakout. What are you doing waiting for a retracement, dummy? I'm being sarcastic because at the end of the day, I'm not going to change the style of trading that I've used for a long time. I've worked tremendously hard to become a profitable trader overall. I'm not going to change what I do because I missed one move. But what made me laugh, I was laughing a second ago, someone has been commenting on my videos consistently saying, how does it feel to miss a generational move on gold? And I just think it's funny because I'm like, okay, don't be so dramatic. It is a really great move on gold. But here's the reality. Whether you trade reversals, Fibonacci retracements, support and resistance, ICT, macro fundamentals, whatever you trade, I promise you, you will never catch everything perfect. I will never catch everything perfect. And we can beat ourselves up to no end. Like, I'm doing that here purposefully in my content. Like, if you're like, Nick, you have been saying this so many times. It's because I think I'm trying to live the experience that I'm trying to outwardly express the experience that we all have as traders. We've all missed moves. We've all gotten stopped out right before it moves in our direction. We've all taken, 5 losses in a row before. It's painful when it happens, but it's part of trading. And that's just the reality. It's like, okay, I waited for the retest. Next time, am I going to wait for the retest? Beginner trader Nick, do you know what beginner trader Nick would have said? No, next time I'm just going to buy the breakout because I don't want to miss the move. 10 years in, trader Nick says, I'll do it exactly the same way next time. Because most of the time you do get the retracement. Most of the time, the price does pull back to your level. Most of the time, you get some kind of wave move in markets. Most of the time. Not every time. Because next time, if you say, no, that's silly, I'm just going to buy the breakout. Well, that worked really well this case. But there might be a scenario where you buy the breakout and it's a fake breakout. And now you're like, well, now I'm always going to wait for the retest. Then you start waiting for the retest. You see what I'm saying? It is a trap to change your strategy because it's deceiving. You look at this and you're like, oh, you should just be buying aggressively on gold and break your rules a little bit. I've literally had people commenting like, Nick, you should break your rules. Like you're missing out on the big. I've done this for a very long time. I've invested countless hours. Look at this. We finally got some movement here. Countless hours into the strategy that I use. One scenario where it wasn't quite right won't get me to change what I do. How much does the first place cost? Yeah, so let's do another. Here's the gold trading competition that I'm in. I went on a detour rant there for a second, so apologies. We are currently doing, I'm participating in the Vantage gold trading competition. It is a 24/7 gold only trading competition. If you are interested in joining the competition, you have to sign up using the QR code that you see here or below my camera. The gold trading competition registration is open until August 23rd, just before midnight, UTC +3. The minimum deposit is $100. Minimum holding time per trade is 3 minutes. Only registered participant trades count towards the leaderboard. The scoring, here's how you potentially win. The scoring is ranked by highest profit percentage in yield, not raw P&L. Okay? Rant some more, brother. Keep teaching us. I got you. Stay tuned. The prize pool is $100,000. And Vantage is known for this. They do some pretty crazy competitions. So shout out to Vantage for doing these. I mean, because that's a lot of money. So they're doing a $100,000 prize pool shared by 10 winners. First place gets $50,000. Second place gets $20,000. Third place gets $16,000. Fourth through 10th, $2,000. So there you go. My goodness, man, we got a lot of people watching the stream right now. I'm again wondering, what is wrong with all of you? Why are you as much of a degenerate as I am, staring at gold charts Saturday, 9:06 a.m.? What's wrong with us? I'm just kidding, of course. But I think that this new product is very cool. The Vantage is offering. Can you explain more to win? Yeah, so again, percentage gains. Whoever has the highest percentage gain wins, right? That's how the competition's working. Now, the strategy that I am choosing to use personally is an aggressive dollar cost averaging approach. I could blow this account, but it's in the effort to try and win the competition. So far, not a big swing on the account, but I am looking for further retracements so I can build a position. And then what I'm looking for ultimately would be some kind of rally. If we can get some kind of rally, that'd be awesome. Nick, no one is live trading. I think that's the reason. That's probably a good guess. Stop loss, no stop. The account is the stop for my aggressive competition trading style here. The best thing to do is in that case is very small positions on the breakout and then a regular position on retracement, then manage positions from that point. Royal Trades, that's a good, I mean, I like your take there. And I think that it's person to person. Like people always obsess over what's the best entry, what's the best time to buy, what's the best time to sell. I have to say, like, it's very deeply up to the individual. Because I personally, I don't want to buy the breakout. Like, I don't like that setup. I love momentum trading. But when it comes to the setup here, going back to our fabled example here, I don't like to buy here. Obviously, in this case, that was the right thing to do. But most of the time, there's kind of a double back retest zones and then the move. Just because one time I have this scenario where clearly waiting for the retest cost me that move, I'm trying to zoom out a little bit. What I mean by that is that I've been trading for 10 years. I hope to, Lord willing, be trading for another 30 years. If I could trade for another 30 years. So how many more situations, opportunities, trades? There's going to be so many more opportunities in the future. I don't need to stress over the one that I missed, because you know what? The second you think, okay, well, let me adapt, what you might end up doing is then you find the new style of trading that you just adopted also has flaws. Everything has flaws in trading. Nothing works all the time. I think we've got more movement here, guys. We've got a little continuation lower. If we can get down into this zone, I'm looking to add another. It's your trading discipline for me. It never gets easy, right? Can you just stop crying about yourself all the time? I've been trying to cut down. I used to cry for like an hour and a half a day. And now I'm down to like 45 minutes. Like 45 minutes of crying per day. I feel like I'm making improvements. So thank you for your sentiment. I love you. Yeah, so overall bias for gold. So I'm not going to be taking any short positions because while typically, I'm a swing trader. So I typically trade the 4-hour and the daily chart. For the sake of the competition, I'm down in the 5-minute, 15-minute chart, trying to be more aggressive. What I still can take from my usual trading style, although my aggressive dollar cost averaging is very different than my usual trading style, I can still take my macro bias. I generally think gold's going to move higher. I've stayed more on the bull camp for a while. Although commitment of traders data did come in softer than expected slightly, but crowd sentiment maybe is my most concerning thing. The most concerning thing that I have on gold right now is this. Don't be childish. Okay, I'm sorry. Put call ratio. Gold. Check this out. So the put call ratio, this is using a 5-day moving average. We're looking at GLD options volume. This is really low, like really, really low. So what that tells me is crowd sentiment here is still like very much. Look at the S&P 500. That's kind of interesting. You've had some selling volume coming in. Gold bullish volume is still massively higher, right, than put volume. So you have a lot of call buying going on. A lot of people still very bullish on gold. And I think at some point that sentiment will reset a little bit. So that's a part of the reason that I think, like from a swing trading perspective, I'm waiting for retracements that I may never get with gold, but just going to keep waiting for that because I think that's, with my style of trading, that's all I can do. Nick, I bought Edgefinder 1 year ago. I split the payment plan into 2 installments. Paid the first one, did not pay the second one. Yeah, if you need help with that, reach out to our support team. I'm just going to drop the if you could support. Actually, you know what? This is easier. Right here. If you want to pick up on your second half of your Edgefinder pay plan, someone from our staff can set you up. Just reach out over our Contact Us website, or let me just make sure I gave you the right link. Hold on. Yeah, that should be the right link. Just direct message us or live chat us there. Someone from our team can help you out with your plan. Look at this, guys. We're actually going to get some more chances, it looks like, to keep building the position. Better call Kramer and tell him to be bullish on gold. You know, I can't even make fun of Kramer. People have been teasing me about the same way. They're like, just do the opposite of Nick on gold. Although I haven't done anything on gold, to be fair, for like a couple weeks. So if you've done the opposite of doing nothing, that's just, I guess, doing something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna probably take another stab gold long. Just keep building my little aggressive DCA approach here. Do you trade breakouts? So I typically like to look for break and retests. Like that's my bread and butter from a technical perspective. Yeah. Let me also really quick. Okay, let's do. For those of you guys who are looking to join the competition, here is the info. I'll just put it back up on the screen. The QR code below my camera if you want to check it out. To be honest, Kramer is far more talented than the average trader. Nobody can call tops and bottoms as he can. That's fair too. The opposite of doing nothing is doing everything, and doing too much in trading can definitely lose you money for sure. So any strategy can make someone successful. I'm generally a believer of that. I think that whether you trade lower time frames, higher time frames, reversals, trend following, breakouts, whatever you trade, I think you can like, there's a time to be a breakout trader. There's a time to be a reversals trader. So knowing that there are moments where that is the right strategy tells me that most likely those other strategies can work. But to be honest, like for me, the backbone of my trading is not technical. The backbone of my trading, I mention it all the time, is the fundamental macro side of things. Like I want to look at economic data. I want to look at inflation, jobs market data to build a bias on the real world stuff that's actually moving the markets. So TCA on Saturday, you know what would be worse than that would be trying to actually wait for larger scale reversals. Although this is showing a little bit of movement here, and I'm going to get my next entry point in just a second. Risk management and less trades are the key. Yeah, I think you really want to pick, like from a trading perspective, quality is definitely better than quantity for standard trading. In a competition though, just for the sake of, you know, trying to win it, you can't be too passive. And so competition trading is very different than standard trading. We've talked a lot about that on today's stream. The competition style of trading, you can't be passive. You can't be looking for, you know, the picture perfect setup and then managing your risk with a small trade. Like if you're trying to win the competition, other people are going to be going heavy. So if you don't, it's kind of a game theory here. Like if you don't go heavy on a trade, this is all my opinion. I could be, you know, off on this. I hope I think it would be awesome. The winner would be someone who's just going slow and steady and catches a really great trade and just rides it. Like that'd be cool. But most likely from purely, we broke it down earlier. If you're someone who's taking big trades, you're either going to make a lot of P&L or you're going to lose a lot of P&L. The winning person is probably going to be taking big trades and also taking and having a really good trade. Like it's a bit of luck, a bit of skill, but risk management's not a part of it. Like you can't manage risk in a trading competition because then you'll just lose. If you manage risk, you won't have any, you know, potential of having the biggest P&L. Because of the strategy rule, or because of the competition rules, it is highest profit percentage, right? So if you're going just purely on that, you will certainly lose if you don't have, you know, a large win. So with that said, we are getting closer here. I'm going to go ahead and take this next trade. So we now have all of our positions on here. Let me just zoom out here. So this is our current roster. I've taken a couple different DCA approach entries on this gold 24/7 chart. So on the account, we're down $92 on this account right now. And we're probably just going to, like, again, what I'm looking for here is to take profits quickly if I can get them. But really, I'm open to this thing kind of continuing to move. I'm looking for any sort of move higher. I've got 3 different entry points on this at this point. Any bounce, etc., I could probably take profits and start the process over again. That's probably how I would approach this. And if it doesn't work, like if the thing just completely floods lower, then it is what it is. Like we have to take the punt. Like you can't even come close to win it. Like if that happens, then so be it. Is he using a prop firm? No, this is on Vantage. Vantage is doing a weekend gold trading competition in which I am going for gold here. Wow, that pun accidentally intended. I'm a believer that every great account comes from great risk management. I'm totally with you. Again, competition-wise, but that's the thing, right? Like, there's this new era. I'm curious what you guys think about this. There's a new era of traders going on right now that are not the old school traditional traders like myself, in the sense that, like, old school traditional traders, you start a brokerage account, or you join a broker, you invest a certain amount that you're comfortable losing, and you build that account brick by brick, slow and steady. And you have no rules. Like you have no, like with a prop firm, for example, like you have all these various rules, but a lot of times you could be able, when you're trading on a brokerage, like, you're trading with the broker, you're building your account, you set your own rules. And generally speaking, the thought process is you got to keep your managed risk, or your risk managed. You've got to, have your strategy back tested thoroughly, and you take the slow and steady approach. And now there's this cohort of traders, and I have to admit, like, this is not me. This new style of trader that's out there is not me. But I've seen it work for people, which is the prop funded traders, the traders that are far more aggressive. And by the way, this is the same kind of cohort that would be a trading competition trader, because those types of traders are different. New traders are gambling. Okay, so like, I see what you're saying, but hear me out. The new style of trader, who I would attest to as an example, prop firm kid, his name's Daniel. You guys might know him from Instagram. It's almost more like prop firm hacking and trading competition hacking. Those sorts of people. Now, you're not actually hacking anything, but what I'm saying is you are playing that game. The rules of a trading competition, the rules of prop firms are different than standard trading. It's a sprint, not a marathon in that case. Now, traditional trading with a brokerage account, building it slow and steady, that's my neighborhood. That's where I'm from, right? That's what I have done. I've been trading for 10 years. Like, prop firms were not really a big thing when I first got into trading, at least the traditional online prop firms, or the new traditional. It's different now, where you have this whole new cohort of traders that I don't even know if everyone, I think there's a whole cohort of traders that don't even trade on brokers. Like, they might, but they maybe trade prop firms and trading competitions, and that's their neighborhood, the sprint aggressive style trader. And I think you have bigger wins and bigger losses with that approach. And I'm not saying that, again, I don't have a ton of experience being that type of trader. I think, yes, probably a lot of people don't do very well in that style. But simultaneously, look at this. We got a little bit of move in gold. Let's see if we can catch something here. But simultaneously, you can't discredit that group either. Like there's a group of people out there who they're prop firm traders, they're trading competition type traders, where that's their bread and butter. Like they maximize in a short order and they either blow an account. Like there's a whole thing right now. I don't know if you guys have seen this. There is a whole cohort of traders that are like, they take an account, evaluation, whatever, for a prop firm. They go hyper aggressive, knowing I'm going to either blow this thing really quick or I'm going to chase a payout very quickly within prop firm space. Again, it's not my style, but I see people doing it with success to an extent. I mean, I don't have personal experience, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But yeah, kind of interesting. My gold ETFs have skyrocketed. Yeah, gold's been making moves. Little weekend action, eh? Yes. Are you really professional? Can you demonstrate how to trade directly? So I do, for the sake of my viewers and making sure that you're not wasting your time watching someone who is not profitable, I post my broker statements on my YouTube channel. It's been a couple months since I last did a video on it, but you can go to my homepage if you want and watch my broker login. I don't claim to be the world's greatest trader of all time by any means, but I am profitable. If you over leverage on anything, it's bad. Prop firm, not. Darius, I mean, I see what you're saying. What I'm saying is I'm just saying, like, from the evaluation side of things, I've seen a lot of traders, like my friend Daniel, who is, he's done quite well within the prop firm space. He is more of an aggressive trader looking for payouts quickly, and actually is not a fan of the really slow and steady approach. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. For the prop firm traders in the room, let me just ask you guys a question. Can you give me a 1 in the chat if you are a fan of like I'm talking evaluation side, like the challenge side? Give me a 1 if you're like aggressive, like you believe it's better to be aggressive. Or 2, is the slow and steady approach better for the prop firm side of things? I'm just curious what you guys think. Give me a 1 or a 2 in the chat. Like, because I willingly will tell you, I'm not a prop firm trader, so I don't have a ton of experience there. Look at that, a little bit more move on gold here. I don't know what's right. I know, and I think this is important for all traders. I know my thing. I'm a slow and steady trader. I'm a swing trader. I trade on a broker account. So I'm not a prop trader. So I can't give you an answer on which one is better or even which one I prefer because I don't trade prop. But I'm curious what you guys think. 50-50. I've also seen a lot of people advocate for that side. Like, be aggressive in the evaluation, go for gold in the evaluation, and then once you have the funded account, slow it way down. So yeah, that's the other side of things. I think like there's so many mantras out there. Oh, this is so bad in trading. I've just seen people who trade all different ways be successful and not successful. I think it's really critical. I've like the longer that I've been in markets and the more people that I've met, the more I've realized, like, just never say never. Like, there's people who trade way different than me and are doing great. People who trade, there's people who are trading all sorts of different ways. Anybody who thinks they've got it all figured out in trading is still learning. And we all are. We're all learning. Yeah, look at that. Gold's making a little bit of a move here. So now I guess we can kind of think about like, all right, well, where's the target on this basket of trades that we've now taken? So let me just go back to my open positioning. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we have an unbelievable 5,700 people watching. I ask you guys again, what are you guys like? This is your weekend and you're sitting here watching Weekend Gold? What are we doing? I'm being sarcastic. I'm thankful that you're here. I am also a market junkie, and I've realized you can be a market junkie without being a degenerate gambler in markets. I genuinely love markets. I love studying strategies, concepts, ideas. There's a difference between being a market junkie that is still a profitable trader and a degenerate trading gambler. Like there's two different, it's okay to really love markets, but there's a fine line. You actually have to like the aspect of strategies and managing risk and all that sort of stuff. Being obsessive over that, I think, is actually a good thing as a trader. Like if it's your craft, it's for yours, you should be obsessive over it, but you should also have, control over like the actual act of trading. And watching P&L is not really exciting for me anymore. Strategy development, research on economics and research on, companies and financials. I love that stuff. I could do that stuff all day long. In fact, I do. I'm very thankful to be doing it. But the actual like punching buy and sell is no longer very exciting to me. I've done this for so long. And that is where, unfortunately, I think a lot of people are addicted to that. They're addicted to buy, sell, like, oh, profit on the screen. Let me take it. That doesn't excite me anymore. It really doesn't. It's cool when I have a trade that's running like crazy. That's awesome. But yeah, I think fall in love with studying markets, strategies, how to better risk manage, how to hedge your portfolio. Like those sorts of things are just interesting. So anyways, update on my competition trading strategy right now. I'm dollar cost averaging on the 5-minute chart. We've been talking a little bit here on the stream about the difference between trading competitions, prop firm trading, where we are being more aggressive, or at least I am trying to be more aggressive here, versus swing trading on an account where I'm just going slow and steady with a traditional brokerage account. Two different worlds. For the sake of competition, I am being more aggressive. I have 4 positions open. I am long gold only. I have a bullish perspective on gold. I generally think gold is going to continue higher in the next few months. Now, that doesn't necessarily help me too much for a gold trading competition where I am trading for just the next 2 days. But I'm still going to trade my bias, my direction, my bullish bias on gold stands. We've talked a lot about it on the stream here. By the way, this is Edge Finder. If you've seen me blast this up on the screen a couple times, if you want to try it out, I'll drop a link here in the chat. 1 second. Here we go. There it is. If you want to try out the software that I'm using, there it is. Link is in the live stream chat as we speak. Do you trade options? I do trade options. I sell options. It plays a partial role in my portfolio. It helps to smoothen out equity a little bit. But yeah, I do trade options. I don't buy options though. Personally, I prefer to sell them. This is not available for US traders. Yes, that's correct. Not available to US traders, as I've said several times in the stream so far, but if you may not have heard it yet, this is a promotional account that they've set up for me in order for me to share the competition with my audience. It's a sponsored stream. I still have my opinions about gold that I'm sharing here, but yes, it is a promotional account. That is how I'm able to access it as a US trader. So just full transparency. I'm not going to act like it's a trading. I can't create a trading account with Vantage. Unfortunately, it's not available to US traders due to their, Vantage's regulations, etc. Weekends just got way more interesting for trading. Yeah. Yeah, especially like I said, I've said it a couple times on the show. If you have something big news break on a Sunday, I'd be really curious to see what this chart looks like. Are you considering increasing leverage at the moment? No, I'm going to stick with what I've got here for now. I am looking for a chance to exit this basket of trades and maybe start over. I think my general thought process is most likely on the weekends. Most of the time, you're probably going to be a little bit more range bound. That's why when I was picking like, how do I want to approach this? I generally want to be a little bit more dollar cost averaging, range trading style, and see if we can just take profits quickly and do it again. So that's my current thesis. Could be right, could be wrong. But if we can get another pop to the upside, then I'll probably take profits and start the process over again. Once you have risk management and stick to your strategy. Lewis, do you trade? Are you more like buying calls, buying puts, or are you selling cash secured puts, covered calls? What are you trading on the option side? Sell dollar, buy gold. I'm also curious what Bitcoin is doing, just out of curiosity. Bitcoin, what's going on over here? Bitcoin here, daily chart. It's been up massively here recently. Bitcoin's been a monster. Obviously, Bitcoin you can trade 24/7 as well, which is kind of cool. You can see I could place trades here, but the only thing that counts towards the competition is, of course, the XAUUSD 24/7 chart. Do you think weekend trading drives people crazy? No, I think, people make their own decisions. You don't have to trade the weekends, but having this as an option is kind of cool, because if you are someone who does, there's a lot of people who like trading dollar cost averaging, for example, and being able to access the chart over the weekend is kind of cool. Nick, how would you trade the prop firm, 1 or 2? Yeah, so that's a good question. So full transparency, I am not a prop firm trader. I'm not a trading competition specialist. I'm having fun here. We're showcasing this competition. I would love to have a chance of winning it. I'm going for it. However, it's not my cup. It's not like strength, right? Like I wouldn't say I'm a prop firm pro and a trading competition pro, because I'm more of a swing trader in trading competitions and prop firm. Prop firms, there are swing trader friendly prop firms, but I'm in a situation, fortunately, where I have my own capital to trade. I don't necessarily need to go the prop firm route. I think prop firm route, I've got several friends who have been very successful with prop firms and have scaled up what they're doing and been very net profitable through prop firms. So I think prop firms are great for the right people. For most people, just like for all trading is really hard. So it's not for everybody. I'm not a prop firm trader though, so I can't claim with authority what I think, where I've been very successful with prop firms, because I don't trade them. That being said, just thinking like, how would I personally approach prop firms if I were starting over and wanted to trade prop? I would probably be a combination of both 1 and 2. Now, if you're just tuning into the stream, we talked about prop firm strategies or trading competition strategies being sort of similar, like 1 or 2, one being aggressive and one being defensive, or I forget, we might have been reversing the order, but I would personally, in the trading competition side, I'm just full aggressive. Like I have to be aggressive for a chance to win the competition. There's no alternative, in my personal opinion, than being aggressive. Someone might disagree with me on that, but that's my thought process. For trying to win a trading competition, I'll give you some details in just a second on that. Being aggressive is my preferred. For a prop firm, approach, during the evaluation, I would say I'd probably try and be aggressive. And during actually having the funded account, if I, pass that challenge being funded, I'd stick to the defensive, like stay really slow and steady once I have the account. Now, what's interesting is that there's a lot of prop firm people out there, and maybe they know better than I do. Like Daniel, Prop Firm Kid, who I watch a lot of his content. I think he's very interesting. Find him on Instagram, but he's aggressive in both. He's aggressive on the evaluation, and then he's aggressive trying to get the payout. So maybe that's a worth exploring. Again, I'm not the go-to figure for how to prop firm though. So full transparency, I think that there are better people who know more about prop firms than me. I still think that they can be a great tool for traders who have skills, but I can't claim authority because I'm not a prop firm trader. So here's a little bit of context here. So if you're following along, competition-wise, here is the details. I'll just pull it up on the screen. So it's a gold competition that runs today through tomorrow. It's a weekend gold trading competition that's going on right now, offered by Vantage. They have sponsored the stream here today. I am, trading in the competition. We're trading XAUUSD247, their new product. It is gold round the clock. Registration, as I mentioned, through tomorrow. Minimum deposit is $100. Minimum holding time is 3 minutes. Only registered participant trades count towards the leaderboard, and overall, the highest profit percentage is who is crowned the winner. Now, in terms of prizes, they've got some wild prizes on the line. Nick, does gold trade now on the weekends? No, not usually. But Vantage, who is I think it's, someone said 17-year veteran brokerage, like they've been around for a long time. They are offering a product now that is gold weekend trading. So if you're interested in that sort of thing and you would like to explore this competition, if you want to compete in it for a chance to win, you can still join. It goes through the weekend. If you have a strategy you want to throw at this, consider it, check it out. The QR code here is on the screen or below my camera. If you would like to check out the competition, the rules, etc., in more detail for yourself. So you have to create an account, minimum deposit $100, and then the main goal is percentage based, not raw P&L, which I think is cool. As I've said this earlier, but with a pure profit goal, people with larger trading accounts would just have a massive edge. In this case, profit percentage and yield, like if you make 10% and you're the top, I think people will make more than that possibly, but yeah, there's going to be people who like double their accounts. It's something. So I'm trading it over the whole weekend. I'm going to stream for another 20 minutes or so here, but tomorrow I'll be back for round 2. So we'll see. I'm really interested in this campaign. Yeah, check it out if you're interested. See if it's right for you. No risk, no Rari. I think that is when it comes to trading competitions. Personally, I'm not telling anybody else how to approach it, because it is, if you're going to trade in this competition, do your own due diligence, make your own strategy. Don't just try and copy me, because again, full clarity and transparency. It's not my bread and butter to trade the 5-minute chart trading competition. I'm doing what I can here. I think it's a fun competition. I think it's a cool product that they're building here. I think gold round the clock is a cool, they have Bitcoin round the clock. So I think gold will probably continue to find a way to, trade round the clock. A lot of guys using ChatGPT to win. Yeah, if only it was that easy, right? If we could just have AI trade for us. I mean, I think AI can be a wonderful tool, but I've not yet met a trader who has just fully outsourced their trading to AI with massive success. I think AI could probably be a decent trader, but nothing in trading is easy. Nothing. Not even if you have all the information in the world. There's unknowns. There's risk management. There's stuff that can change on you. So for the context of this competition, I'm trading the 5 and 15-minute chart. I'm being fairly aggressive with my dollar cost averaging approach. And I'm scaling in and out as quickly as I can. Like right now, if we were to get and what I should do here, because I'm gonna go on with my day for a little bit after this, I should set some pending exit limits. So let's actually do that. So how can I do that? Let's explore. So right click, that's not going to be it. So what I can do is I can set targets. So that's what I'll do. If this were to rally, I'm going to look to take profits on everything. So what we can do here is take profit stop loss. 4601. Yep, that's fine. So we've got that one in. We'll put this in the same spot. There we go. Yeah, so I'm just dragging my targets on this for all of these trades that I've gotten into up into this spot here. So if we can get a run up in gold, this will make it so that even if I'm away from the desk, I can still potentially take profits on this. Okay, yeah, we got all of our take profits in. Should be 4 of them for 4 trades. Yep, got that. Check here. So we're pretty much flat on the position right now. So thesis here is I'm trying to turn this account quickly. What I mean by that is if we get a pop, the idea would be, and I'll check this back later. I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow, so I'll give you guys updates. But the general thesis will be I'll take profits, and any sort of retracement, I'll do this again, where I'll try and ideally catch moves back and forth. Where are your stops? I do not have stops. So again, I'm trading it very differently than how I usually would. But for the sake of a trading competition, it's a trading competition. I'm trading it aggressively. I don't have stops. The account is the stop, right? Very different than how I would trade standard swing trading style. I would have stops, but for this approach, I'm being very aggressive. Look at that. Ooh, gold's moving against us now. Might get a chance to add another trade here. Look how quickly that moved. Nick, genuine question. Was your wife think of working during the weekends? I work all the time. I love what I do, and she supports me. So it's we're both hardworking people. She's got her stuff that she's doing, so she doesn't think too much about it. As long as I've known her, for 12 years or whatever, I've always hustled on the weekends. She's supportive of it. But I wouldn't say, I don't work like constantly all the time. I've still found a way to have good work-life balance. But I work at random times. Like I'll work like late at night, standard 40-hour work week for sure with my team, etc. But then, throughout the weekend, I'm doing stuff. I film videos throughout every weekend. So yeah, she's in full support. Are you risking the whole 10K account? Yes. It's a trading competition. You have to be aggressive, in my opinion, for even a chance to win. So that jolted here against us real quick. I'm still in all 4 of my positions. I have my target set up here if we can get a move higher. If we continue to move lower, again, the whole account is my stop. So I am willing to continue to scale into this trade. And if it blows, it blows. For the sake of competition, the only chance I have of winning a competition like this is to be aggressive. And aggressive, if you're going to be aggressive in trading, there's risk. So that being said, it's a competition. I understand the only way to win a trading competition is to be fairly aggressive. So we'll see what happens here. But the other thing, again, the reason I picked the strategy that I did primarily is I think gold's likely to range bound over the weekend most of the time. And, there might be styles of trading. There might be people out there who embrace that style a lot, like range bound trading. Like I know, oops, I just bumped my mic. Sorry about that. I know that a lot of traders trade intentionally, like off hours or like maybe Asian session, etc. Maybe when markets are a little calmer, purposefully on an intraday basis in order to trade ranges. Like during main sessions, New York session, the European session, you can have this surge in price one direction very sharply. What's kind of interesting about these off hours is that the downside is like typically the spreads are not so great. Although to be fair, Vantage has got a really reasonable spread here for this weekend gold chart. Like the bid ask spread here, you can see it's really not terrible at all. But from a session perspective, trading the quieter hours, a lot of times you get these sort of back and forth ranges, and there's strategies that can work well in ranges. So that's kind of my approach. Dollar cost average, range trading, fairly aggressive. If the account blows, it blows. Although so far we're doing just fine. I mean, the account's down 3% right now. So we'll take it. I mean, it's not ideal, but if this thing continues to move lower, then I will be building further into the long position. I'm effectively taking a strong directional bullish bias on this. So if it keeps moving lower, then I could add another trade. And if it moves lower from there, I could add another trade down at these levels. So I've got some levels marked on my screen here. And if this thing flops tomorrow, like if it just rolls over, then it is what it is, right? It's a competition. I have to take I could be very wrong in gold, could drop sharply. And if that is the case, then, it is what it is. I think you can win that top. Maybe. It would require a little bit of luck here and a little bit of skill. That's what, in my opinion, on competitions. Because here's the thing, right? Let's think about this. Let me just pull this back up. The people who are also competing in this right now, the person who's going to win first place, they are going to aggressively be taking a directional bias, full well risking the possibility of blowing their account, right? That's just inevitably what that person's going to do. They're going to go aggressive as anything. And a lot of people who do that will blow their accounts. And some people who catch the right moves might make the leaderboard. That's probably how people are approaching this. So if I stand a chance to win, being fairly aggressive is the strategy. In my opinion. There's probably people who are like, no, I'm gonna go slow and steady, and if I make the leaderboard, then amazing. And I think that's a viable approach. But I still think my opinion here if you go too light on the risk management side, if you're too defensive, you run the risk of simply not being able to generate profits if you're right that get you on the leaderboard. Does that make sense? Looks like this campaign is working out for you. Are you going to continue? I mean, yeah, the strategy is all in on a DCA strategy. I want to see where you finish on the Vantage leaderboard. Amy, you're either going to see me, well, hopefully, somewhere on the top 10 or somewhere at the very bottom. And there's no in between because I'm going to be aggressive here with this account. It's the only chance, all or nothing. And that does mean all or nothing. Like the idea is like get on the leaderboard by being aggressive or flop the entire account. So anyways, I know I just showed that on the screen, but if you are interested in joining the competition, if you want some details, here it is. QR code is on the screen or below my camera right there. Also, you can find it in the description. This is, you have to also, if you're in Vantage, you want to make sure that you actually look for this symbol, XAUUSD247. That is the symbol. If you're trading, you'll see like normal XAU. You can see it's closed, but it is the 24/7 market that is moving. And it's not moving a ton. So that's where I've kind of dropped down to the lower time frames to try and trade whatever we get here over the weekend. And we're taking a punt at it. We'll see how it goes. So in terms of my levels here, I've taken an initial long up in this zone here. Hold on, where's my drawing tool has quit out on me. 1 second. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I've taken a long position here, a long position here, a long position here, and I have willingness to add more to this long basket down here at 45.95 and 45.89. How much did you deposit? 0. I am a US trader. I can't trade with Vantage, unfortunately. This is a promotional account that they've given me to trade the competition and to share it with my audience. Full transparency. No, for the purpose of sharing the competition, they've set me up with an account to trade. Does it matter what the higher time frame bias is for this? Yeah, so I generally am bullish on gold, like in my standard setup, like my standard approach to trading. I don't usually trade the 5-minute chart. I trade like the daily. And so looking at the daily, I'm still very bullish on it from a higher time frame perspective, which is why I'm kind of just like the bias for me is bullish, both from a technical and fundamental perspective, which I've talked about a lot on the show here today. Fundamentals, I still think, you have cooling inflation. Let me take that back. You have inflation. This is the way to read this. You have inflation measures like the producer price index, the consumer price index, personal consumption expenditure. These numbers have been coming in lighter than what the market had feared. The 2-year yield is also trending lower. These are bullish category factors for the macro side of gold. So from a swing trading perspective, I'm very bullish on gold. The jobs market has also been coming in softer than expected. We had a big miss in the non-farm payroll number. August 7th was when that NFP released. JOLTS job openings softer than expected. So the read on the jobs market is also weaker than expected, which is bullish for gold, right? Softer for the dollar, bullish for gold. Economic growth has also been softer than expected. the GDP quarter over quarter, services PMIs, consumer confidence, retail sales. The figures here that we have in our dashboard have been very soft versus expectations. The surprise factor has been very negative. That is bearish for dollar, bullish for gold. And if we're going to talk about gold, it's also good to just have an idea of where the dollar lands on this. And you can see the dollar is getting a very bearish reading, or a bearish reading overall on Edgefinder. So Edgefinder is our software here that we're using to track all this stuff. If you want to check them out or check out the tool, here is the link to that. Just dropped it in the chat. But yes, so I generally have a bearish bias on the dollar, a bullish bias on gold, and that's kind of what I'm taking in terms of my attempt here to effectively just be bullish gold. Even though I'm not a 5-minute chart trader traditionally, I'm still going to stick to what primarily drives my bullish or bearish directional bias, which is macro fundamentals. This correlates with XAUUSD when the market opens on Sunday. Yeah, so it's a new product that they're offering here at Vantage. They have a pretty cool new product offering that allows you to trade gold over the weekend, or trade a CFD reflective of gold over the weekend. So I see obviously a higher probability leans bullish on gold. So for now here, it's just a pullback. Yeah, and again, I don't usually trade the 5-minute, but this is a good example. If you're a fan of my channel, if you've watched for a while, like I've always kind of pointed out, Edgefinder is not, it's not time frame dependent. It's just a general directional bias tool that uses a bunch of macroeconomic stuff. And so this is a good example of, you know, I'm bullish on gold higher time frames as well as lower time frames, just because I like the macro. Like generally speaking, I have no interest in shorting gold right now. So from a lower time frame perspective, even though I'm scalping the 5-minute chart, I'm still bullish. So we'll see. I mean, and I could be wrong in doing that, right? We could still see a corrective pullback on the higher time frames. But for the purpose of the short-term side of things, I'm staying long here. Being able to trade XAUUSD 24/7 on the weekend is pretty cool. How do I make it into the top 10? Yeah, so top 10 here. You can see top 10 all get monetary prizes here, the prize pool offered by Vantage. Their competition rules are pretty simple. It is the highest profit percentage in yield, not raw P&L. And so registration, there's not too late to join if you are interested in joining this trading competition. It is ongoing throughout the weekend. You just need to know that you have to trade XAUUSD 24/7, the new product that they're offering. Yeah. And so I'm within their portal here. So they have TradingView, which is really nice. So I can trade, what I'm familiar with. Platform's really simple to use. They have like everything in this platform, which is really cool. And I've added the 24/7 gold to my watch list here. What do you think on first place? How much percentage is he up right now? I'm not sure. Again, I kind of feel like all I can do is stick to my plan that I've set out for this competition. And if I get close, awesome. If I don't, it is what it is. Like I have to take the risk, be aggressive with it. I have to risk, potentially putting the account in a lot of drawdown. Make a guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 15%, 20%, 25%. I don't know. It's still early in the weekend, so we'll see. We will see. So just a bit of context update here on this as well. So I'm trading this pretty much all weekend. I'm going to check back in. And then tomorrow I will be streaming again at a similar time. We'll do another live session trading the chart here. And hopefully we can yield some profits. If not, it'll be a fun competition either way. So if you want to compete in it, like I said, all the information can be found in the description down below. I will be, like I said, updating you guys tomorrow when I come back on. But in the meantime, I'm going to shut down the stream. We'll call it good for today. I'll be watching throughout today, making any changes, etc. And I will update all of you guys here tomorrow. Good luck if you're in it. We'll see if we can get some good moves in gold between now and end of competition. And like I said, good luck to anyone who is also making the attempt. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Come back and stay tuned with us.